It's the Joel Shit Show, featuring Joel Shit. Hi, and welcome to the Joel Shit Show. I'm your host, Joel Shit. So last night I went to the Sharks game, and one of the more entertaining Sharks games I've ever been to. Can't say I was really happy with how the game ended. But I mean, there were lots of fights, and I mean, Roenick got in a fight, and Marlowe got in a fight, and I think Bernier got in a fight, and you know, I got to see a game misconduct, and I got to sit in front of a bunch, or behind, or, well, I was in front of them, I don't know what that means, a bunch of idiots. But then whenever you go to a hockey game, there's always stupid people around you. The guy in front of me was a real hoot, though. He was like 60 or 70 years old, and he was like yelling at the other team's goalie, and it was, I don't even know what we were only 11 rows up, maybe they could hear him, but the things he were yelling, it was like, dude, for Christmas you need a new joke book, because all of his shit talking was like straight out of the 1940s. I mean, I was almost waiting for him to make some kind of barefoot and pregnant joke, but it just didn't happen. So the Sharks, no one scored in the first two periods. There were a buttload of shots, like, I don't know, 30-something shots between the two teams. And no, there were 31 shots in the first period alone. There were more than 50 shots after two periods, and there was a lot of shots. There were 75 shots in the entire game. And all of a sudden, in the opening seconds of the third, Phoenix scored, and it was 1-0, and it sucked. And then like a minute later, the Sharks came back and scored and tied it up, so that was exciting. And then the Sharks got a 5-on-3, and with about 8 minutes left, they scored again, and they were up 2-1. And then with about a minute left, Phoenix got a hooking call. I think it was hooking. Terrible, terrible penalty by number 2. I think it's Ballard. And it's like, well, game's over. Sharks got the power play. All they gotta do is run out the clock. So face-off. Well, first I think there was icing. So then the face-off goes back in their own zone, and they win the face-off, and then they turn it over, and then Shane Doan scores a shorty, and it ties it up. But the Sharks still have the power play into overtime, so they have 4-on-3 for like 40 seconds in overtime. And I'll tell you one thing, I mean, the Coyotes suck, right? Like, they've got one of the worst records in the Western Conference, but they just finished a road trip where they won. They had I think they went 5-1 on the road. They've got a ton of wins on the road, kind of like the Sharks. You know, I think they have the same number of wins on the road. And man, their defense is good, especially the penalty kill. I mean, they get down there and they get their sticks on the ice, and it's really hard to pass the puck around. That's all it is. It's hard to shoot. That's all the time we have for today. Visit us on the web at joelshitshow.com.